Hi everyone, today we are talking about someone very special, Volkswagen California royalty. Keep watching. Hi everyone, right, we have got Carl with us today, and Carl is Volkswagen California royalty, and you'll see why a bit later in the video, but Carl has a bit of a fetish for 3D printing. I think it's a bit of a hobby, isn't it? So we'll come on to all of that a bit later on, and you'll probably know already why he's Campervan royalty. But Carl, thank you for coming to see us here. It's really good to see you again.
Yeah, as always.
Really, really happy for you to come and show us your van, because you're first in our series of kind of show and tell about your van.
Well, yes.
So
thank you for the invite.
What have we got here then? This is your stunning California.
This is my 2019 Ocean 4Motion.
Ocean 4Motion.
Ocean 4Motion, yeah, sorry, yeah. It's a 204.
Very good.
It's just my baby.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it looks super stunning. This is starlight blue, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is.
It does look really good.
Yeah. It's purchased from the VW California website. From another Cali owner. So I was quite confident to buying it that way.
Yeah.
And we knew it had been looked after. So I was very pleased. Very low mileage when I bought it, just 6,000 miles.
It looks absolutely
really
stunning.
Good, yeah.
So this looks like it's got something on it. Have you had this ceramic coated or something? It looks like it's a bit more shiny than it should be.
I did. I'm not. So I'm not one for washing cars, but I had it ceramic coated only to make the whole ownership of looking after it and making it look stunning easier, really.
Yeah.
That was the main reason. But I'm not great at washing cars, I must admit.
Well, I mean,
it's not my thing.
And to be honest, it's probably better to be using it than washing it and standing looking at it, isn't it? Because
definitely.
that's exactly
100%.
what these are for. You know, we need to make sure we use these as much as we can.
100%.
Now, the other thing I noticed when you pulled up was it looks a bit lower than normal. So has this had some suspension work done on it as well?
It has, not by me. The previous owner, he'd had it lowered by about 40 millimetres. But he had a proper job done on it. It's got coilovers on it. So it rides really nice.
Yeah, and you've taken me up the road in this, and I tell you what, it is so smooth. I think a lot of people think with coilovers, for sports cars, they kind of make it really low and hard and bouncy and all that kind of stuff. And I'd say it's completely the opposite with this. This just seems to knock off those harsh edges. So if you've got a California which has got, especially if you've got one which has got 215 section tyres on and standard suspension, if you rode in this, you would think it's like night and day. It is huge difference, isn't it, between them?
It is. Absolutely. I went in yours,
you've been in mine,
I did, and it is a completely different ride altogether. I thought it was going to be harsh. You hit a pothole, you would feel it, and it absorbs it. And
it just seems so stuck to the road as well, really nicely planted and much less body roll when you go around corners and roundabouts and things. It's just, it's perfect. So yeah, definitely worth considering. I think if you haven't got coilovers or you haven't thought about suspension, it's definitely worth considering. Definitely.
I mean, I've got my winter wheels on, to be honest. They've got winter tyres on, all weather tyres. I thought when I put these on this year, end of last year, that it would increase the road noise.
It's been okay.
And the tyres I've got on my summer wheels are fantastic.
So these are Michelin Cross Climate 2s, I think you've got on here, aren't they?
Yeah. Actually, I got them because I think you told me to buy them, Will. If you remember, I messaged you asking what all-weather tyres, and you recommended these. So very impressed. Very impressed. Yeah. Definitely. And it does drop the height a little bit, so it does make it a little bit easier to get under barriers if you need to.
That's another really good point, isn't it? Because quite a lot of barriers are kind of 2.1 metres, aren't they? And when you go up to them, you think, I'm sure a normal Cali's, 2.04 or something? You're like, oh,
you're always a bit...
And the back of the awning's like the highest point, isn't it? So you're always kind of like, oh, is it going to fit?
You're always apprehensive.
But just dropping it down that little bit.
Yeah, and also I've got solar on this now as well, so I've got some low-profile solar panels on there, so I've still not increased the height anywhere near what it was before.
And I think obviously for Sarah, if we'd have done this when we had our California, it would have been much easier for her getting in and out and everything else, because obviously it just, that little bit lower, with her being a bit shorter, makes it just a little bit easier, doesn't it?
It is noticeable, definitely, 100% noticeable.
No,
definitely.
it looks stunning, Carl, and
it's dirty. I'm sorry.
I think it looks fantastic. You obviously got the chrome pack on here. You've got the silver awning on the side, which again you don't see very often on vans. It's usually black, isn't it, on here?
It is.
I think it looks good with the Starlight Blue.
Yes, we've spoken about this before, and it's probably the one thing I might change about the van eventually is to have it coded to the van, or maybe have a matte black one possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm in two minds. I like it, but. Yeah.
It's a trademark piece of having a California, isn't it? Just having an awning on the side. I think it's one of the ways that I can tell when I'm driving down the motorway whether a California is coming towards me or a panel van or anything else, because it's one of the first things you see, isn't it? So
yeah, you do. You do. Yeah,
it's
definitely.
a signature piece, definitely. No, it's fantastic. You've got all the relevant trick bits and pieces on here. Obviously, you've got the Alcantara and leather effects interior, LED lights, kind of like there's so much good stuff going on in there. So
I searched for this van for 6-7 months. I was looking every single day, Auto Trader, on the Owners Club website, eBay, every single day, and this one just came up within about 50 miles of my house, and I literally went and saw it that morning.
Got to be
done. And actually bought it that day, there and then. It was just perfect. And
I think when you know, you found the right one, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And you know, your channel helped. You know, it did, because everything that you talked about, I was already educated about the vans. I knew what to look for.
Best way to buy one of these, isn't it? I think just try and get to know a little bit about them first, so when you're looking at them you know either what you're looking for spec wise, or you can just make sure that you know, if you're checking things or you're going to ask the owner questions if you're buying one second hand, you've got to be informed, haven't you? It's these are a lot of money, aren't they? So we've got to make sure you're spending it wisely.
Yeah, they are, and especially when you're buying it privately as well. It's nice to go there. You know, you get there, a big shiny van, and you think, oh great, but actually you've got to get your sensible head on, because you're just about to part with a large amount of money.
Exactly right.
So it's not the safeguard that you've got when you go to a dealer. It's all on you, and I knew that risk, and I accepted that risk, and thankfully I'd watched your channel, I knew what I was looking for, I knew the spec.
You got a great one. Yeah, you really have it. It looks absolutely stunning, and you can tell that this has been well looked after as well, not just by Carl but by the previous owner as well, because you know, when you open the inside and you look at the inside of the B pillar, where you get the usual scratches where people have not quite managed to get the seat in the right position to turn it around and everything. There's nothing on this. It's like the seats have never been turned around, which is exactly how it should be. They obviously are turned around. They're turned around right now. Yeah. But you know, clearly, you know, it's been well cared for. Somebody's not tried to force things. They've not tried to abuse it. It's beautiful.
No, I'm very blessed, and we try and look after it exactly as the previous owner handed it over to us. We do try and keep it nice and clean, and normally it's just the journey here today. It was clean this morning.
Can't help that time of year.
I know.
Now, one of the other reasons, Carl, that you come to see us is because you've got a few bits and pieces in the van, haven't you, that you're going to show us, which are your kind of go-to pieces, the things that you think other people might find interesting, which they might take something away from this video thinking, actually, I hadn't thought about that, or I've never seen that for that before, or just give people a bit of inspiration. Yeah,
I think it's good.
Good to share, isn't it?
It's good to share, and I think the coming videos, hopefully, that you do with other Cali owners will introduce me to things that we hadn't thought about.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
I mean, we've had this now for about 16 months, and we've gone through the newness the first 12 months, and now we're looking at thinking, what do we use? Don't we use? What did we buy that was a complete waste of time for us? It might not be a
that
waste
we recommended
of time.
To buy.
Yeah. Thanks, Will. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that some things are useful to some people, but not to other people.
Yeah.
And the way we use our van is different to how other people use their vans. And so I think it'll be an interesting.
I hope so. And you know, if you are interested in featuring your van on the channel or sharing, if you think you've got things in your van which you're thinking, actually, it took me ages to find this, but it's just the right thing for this, do get in touch, because we're really keen to feature different vans, because I think this kind of through the keyhole style look at people's vans, it's exactly what we do when we go to shows, when we're you know, going to club meets or anything like that. You can't wait to have a look in someone else's drawers, can you? I mean, it's just how those meets work. So, you know, Carl's smiling, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. So you know, we've got to do that, and hopefully it gives us a way of being able to share with you some inspiration, some ideas, and we're just getting into that time of year again where everyone's starting to look at what new gadgets are coming out, and how they're going to do things, spend some money.
Spend loads of money.
Yeah. We're just getting to that time of year, so hopefully all the credit card from Christmas is paid off, and we're starting to go into that new season. So.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be a lot of money. You're going to see, it doesn't have to be a lot of money
We've got some cheap
to
stuff
make a difference.
There are some cheap things we're going to talk about, aren't there?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. I think let's start round the back of the van then, because I know there's something in the boot that you want to talk about.
You're quite excited.
I am quite excited. let's get round the back of the van, have a look at that stuff, and then you can explain it to us.
No problem.
Right, so you've got a few bits and pieces tucked away in the back here, haven't you, that you want to give us a quick tour of. So over to you then, Carl.
So we never ever leave our house without our trusty Works vacuum cleaner.
Wow, look at that.
20 volt rechargeable, removable battery.
So rechargeable.
Rechargeable battery, yeah. So it charges nice and small, so we can carry it with us. With a converter, you can actually run it off the inverter because it's quite low powered, which is really good. And we use this most days to vacuum the van out for the grass and the gravel on the campsites, but at the end of the journey or when we're moving, we also use it for the vacuum bags, which is fantastic, really. And it also doubles as for deflating the our mattress at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great bit of kit, that. And Works do a pressure washer thing, don't they?
They do. I have that as well. Yes, I have that as well. I mostly use it for washing the bikes off, to be fair. It's not really up for the washing the van. But
it's a great bit of kit, though, and it's so small, isn't it? It's like it's literally been designed to fit in the back cupboard there.
Yeah, and I think like any Caliona, it's the rattles and when you're driving, that sits perfectly in there. No rattles, no nothing. Oh, I switched it on. So no rattles or anything like that. It's perfect, really.
It really does fit just beautifully. So I think that's a great addition. I can see a light flashing up there. That's not normal, is it?
You can. It's very annoying when you slip downstairs, I have to say. In fact, before I leave, I need some insulation tape. This year, end of last year, I decided to fit solar on the van. And the reason for that was because we do like to go off grid and not have electric hookup. We do like doing 2 or 3 nights and sometimes 4 nights. And we started to think, we're going to run out of battery. And so I've come up with a solar solution. You can buy the kits. However, as I'm an electrical engineer, I decided to have a go myself. Why not? So we'll show you that a bit more later. I think.
That's great. So presumably you just bought all the different bits and pieces all individually,
I did, yes.
Figured it out or read online or just saw where you connect it in and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. As you probably guessed, I like little projects, and I just it keeps my brain ticking over. So it was a bit of a challenge, and I thought, I YouTubed a few things and stuff like that. So
it's fantastic. Yeah, inside you got some other bits and pieces in there.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Right, let's go and have a look inside them. Now I tell you what, I feel very privileged to even be wearing shoes in here after what Carl just said about the vacuum. You know, after we cut this take, the vacuum's coming out straight away and it's going to be clean in here. Look how tidy this van is. Look how tidy this is. These rails usually get scratched up really easily. These have been polished. Honestly, this is the tidiest van I think I've ever been in. Even the ones in the showroom, when you go to the Volkswagen commercial dealer, you look in the ones in the showroom, they're not as tidy as this. Honestly, this is a real credit to you, Carl. It's fantastic in here. Anyway, let's talk about the things that you want to show us.
So, moisture. A lot of Cali owners struggle, campervan owners struggle with it. We struggle with it, especially if we've been out walking and got a bit damp on the walk or something. And quite likely when we come home and we leave the van shut up it's not our main car. I just use it for leisure. So we invested in these. What would you call them, Will?
They kind of they're filled pouches, aren't they? A bit like you get, you know, when you buy a piece of electrical kit and you've got some silicone stuff,
that's it.
like silica gel and things.
Yeah, they were on Amazon, I think. We'll put a link in the comments, I think.
Yeah, they're kind of dehumidifier pads, aren't they? And you microwave these, don't you?
Yeah, so they go in the microwave for 6 minutes and they just dry out, and then we just pop them back in the van. They turn pink, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or when they need doing.
Yeah, when they need doing. And we just leave them in the van all of the time. And I'll be honest, we don't really suffer from condensation.
That's good.
At all.
That's really good.
You know, you're obviously going to wake up to some in the mornings, but we don't really suffer from condensation. And I can only put it down to those, if I'm honest.
They're a really good idea. And I think you're right. When you've been out for a walk, if you've got a wet raincoat or something like that, you end up just chucking it on the back seat or whatever. It's so easy to get loads of condensation in the van from that. So
definitely,
it's a great idea. Yeah, really good. And cheap too.
Yeah, they were really cheap. Yeah, really cheap. I've got them in my car actually as well.
Yeah.
Because I do suffer for my car, the inside of my windscreen freezing up.
Makes good sense.
So it stopped that as well. So for I think they're £5 or £6.
Yeah, it's really
for the
good.
two.
Really good value.
So
excellent. Right then, what we got in here?
Will wants to look in my cupboards. Okay, I'm not sure about this. So, I think you all know 3D printing is my hobby, and I've extended it to the campervan community and the California community. And I came up with these. These are a prototype that I did for myself, only because it used to really annoy me getting 3 things out of the cupboard.
It's so time consuming, isn't it? Just one after another.
But in the morning, so we've got tea, coffee and paracetamol.
Yeah, so it's the perfect morning setup there.
Yeah, I'm currently this is the start of our journey. This cupboard will eventually be 3D printed heaven for me. But you can do it with similar purchased items from IKEA.
Yeah.
It's just that 3D printing is my hobby, and
I mean that's a serious bit of 3D printing though, isn't it? I mean, and most people have, like, you know, a little bracket for something, or, you know, well, like the projector screen brackets.
Yeah.
But you know, that's going to take some serious time to make that.
It does, believe it or not. It takes about 24 hours to print one of the boxes.
Wow.
But for me, it was worth it, because the beauty of it was they just interlock in like that, and there's no rattling.
That's the thing, isn't it? No rattling.
I think we all strive for no rattles, don't we, as Cali owners?
Definitely. And that probably leads us on to what on earth's going on here.
Yes, yes. So it's become a bit of an obsession, to be honest. And I've had these made, so the nice little bags that we keep our cups that tend to rattle in, and obviously the perfect holder for the wine glass.
It's just
we used to use kitchen roll, but I think this is a bit more environmentally friendly. We're using and that's just a bit of I think it was an old piece of curtain or something that we
That's a brilliant idea. Yeah, I love the fact that they got their own little kind of blanket.
Yeah,
the mugs have their own blanket. I love that. So. Yeah, no, it's brilliant. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I think, you know, the organisation of cupboards and things is always it's a really personal thing. You know, some people just literally just chuck everything in and don't worry about rattles. Other people go to the other extreme where they try to just, you know, put everything in a box or whatever. And there's a happy balance, I think, between the two, isn't there? Because you need to be able to get at stuff nice and easily, but you still want it to be organised.
Yeah, I think we're at this point now where we've had the van for a year, just over a year, used it for over a year. And I think we're just learning what we don't use and what we do use. Yeah. And I think we had about a month ago, we did have a bit of a sort out and said, well, we don't use this and we don't use that. And now we've got a set of things we take when we're going for 4 or 5 days, and a set of things that we take when we're going for just 1 or 2 days.
Oh, it's a really sensible thing. I think loads of people go through that same process where, you know, they've got the van on order, they buy loads of stuff, so it's all in the spare room or whatever, or in the garage. You get the van, you put all that stuff in the van, you use probably half of it if you're lucky, and then you think, actually, I've got a load of stuff now I've never used, or I've used once and I didn't like it, or it didn't suit us or whatever. Yeah. So having that, actually, almost a stock take of, actually, this is the stuff I use every time I go out in the van. And then, as you say, have almost different packs of stuff that you take depending on what you're doing. If you're going wild camping, you need different stuff to if you're going to a site, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's a good way of doing it, definitely.
And I think this cupboard under here is the next thing to be sorted.
So we're not going in there today.
You're welcome to, but it's got a lot of wires in there. You accumulate a lot of wires because you want a wire for this and a wire for that, and
we end up with a massive bird's nest of wires where the one that you want is intertwined and tangled with every other wire that you own. Yeah. There's not an easy solution to that, I don't think.
No, there's not. It's USB-C is making things a lot much easier. A lot easier, definitely.
It is.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, well, I think we probably need to go on to your pièce de résistance then, don't we? And have a look at where it all started for you.
Okay, no problem.
We're on to the final pièce de résistance then, and this is how it all started, wasn't it, in terms of you getting your fame, or infamous fame?
Oh, I wouldn't call it... Oh, yeah, okay.
So come on then, Cole. How did it all start then? What was the thing that you invented for us all?
So I invented the projector brackets off the back of one of Will's videos, believe it or not.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
no, it was
because
you reviewed the Nebula.
I did.
And you were watching watching it on the side of the van, and I thought,
that's rubbish.
Yeah. I actually thought a few other things, but I can't say them. And I thought, hang on a minute, there's got to be a better way. There has to be a better way. You know, I tried to get a cinema experience. I don't before people start saying, "Oh, I don't go in my van to watch TV
or whatever." Yeah.
Actually, when you're using it through the winter and it's dark nights like we do, then it's nice to just.
They're long, aren't they? They're long. When you get pitch black at 4 o'clock, it's a long old evening in a van, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and that was the driver for me.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't watch a lot of TV at home, so I come in the van, dark nights.
A couple of movies or whatever.
Movies,
Brilliant.
You know, a series, and then I thought, well, where can we mount a projector screen? And it became a bit of an obsession, if I'm honest, that I had to find somewhere. And the hardest thing was finding the right screen.
Yeah.
Something that's small enough to roll up or fold up, that wasn't going to be a pain in the van to keep. And then all of a sudden, it just came to me. So
you found this Duronic screen, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Which I find hilarious now, because basically you can usually get either the projector brackets in stock, obviously because you made a load, or you can get the screen in stock. You can never usually find them both at the same time, can you? Which is it's okay at the moment.
Yeah.
But it is. I only dread to think what's happened in Duronic's headquarters somewhere around the world, where they've gone, why is there such a run on these projectors? We've never hardly ever sold any of these before. Why are we selling hundreds of these screens now? So they've had to ramp up production, I think, to meet the demand, because they always seem to be out of stock. So and it's all down to you.
But not really. It's down to you.
No.
Because you I like tech. Will likes tech.
Yeah.
And I saw the projector and I really like that, and the size of it. And then all of a sudden it became, well, I'm not watching it on the side of the van.
Yeah.
I want to sit comfortably.
Proper screen and yeah.
Yeah, and then it came, everything fell together. The size of the screen. I came in the van. I measured things, and I think, where can I put it? You know, a lot of Cali owners, we don't want to tools in our vans, and I thought, no, it's got to be something
temporary and
and it just came, and I think that the ones you have now in the shop are probably generation 4. I think, if you remember, that's how we became friends.
Yeah, it was.
You
sent me a couple, didn't you, to try? And I said to you, I might have to do a video on these. Are you sure you want that? And
yeah.
It's like, yeah, go on, then why not? Because I said in the video, let us know if you fancy these being actually made, and then it suddenly just exploded from there, didn't it? Everybody wanted some. So
it did.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, and it was never that intentional.
No.
It was just to share something with the fellow Cali owner,
just a hobby.
I wanted to give something back to Will, because everything he'd done for me as a new Cali owner, he made my decisions easy. And then it all went a bit mad.
Yeah, it did. So it's not only these ones now, though, is it? So if you've got a conversion, so you're looking at transporter overall, aren't you? Because I only realised this about a month ago, that you'd designed something completely new for transporter owners, not Cali owners in particular.
Yeah, you don't even need a pop top now. So what happened during the first run, when the first ran out, Duronics ran out of screens, we got talking with Campervan Bits. And I met Nick. And he said, I said, I'm thinking about expanding it so that we can do it with other pop tops. And then I sat in the van one Saturday with a tape measure, and as you do, you know, and then I discovered that actually I could make one with a bigger screen that would work with any
as long as it's got handles.
As long as it's got 2 grab handles. And you know what? It's really gone down well. You know.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it does. It's a slightly bigger screen. It's the 50-inch screen.
Even better.
And yeah. but the 40-inch screen works perfectly.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Definitely. Yeah.
No.
Really good.
All I can say is I can't wait to see what else is going to come, because I'm sure this isn't going to be the end of the 3D printing.
I can't show you.
But if you want a sneak peek, I'm sure Carl won't mind. Look at what's on the back there. So that is a nebula kind of carrying cradle thing, isn't it, that you've generated? I know this is like your own personal thing. It's not something that you're looking to try and create or anything else, but that is something special though, isn't it? Because that's got a built-in charger for the nebula, which works off 12 volt.
Yes.
So it's not using the original nebula charger or any of that kind of stuff. And you just literally sit that in there, don't you?
Yeah. So I got to the point where I couldn't find a decent charger. I googled quite a bit, and people were saying, oh, you can do it off this cable and that cable, and there was issues.
Because some people were getting USB-C and chopping a bit off or whatever, weren't they? It's like, oh god, that sounds weird.
Yeah. So, and then I printed the carrying case for myself, because it just meant when I left the van after a camping trip, it meant I could just pick the whole thing up and
pop it away.
Paper it away. And I think Will had one of the
I did.
And the original power supply you get with it, I made it so you could store that with it.
Yeah.
And then I came up with this design to have a power supply, and I thought, well, why don't we just put the two together?
So it's basically an Anchor Nebula campervan dock.
Yeah, and
powered 12 volt dock.
Yeah, and it charges.
What's not to like?
Yeah,
honestly. You know what's going to happen after this video, don't you? There will be comments going, "I need one of those."
Yeah, they're not as easy as you might think.
I bet.
But it was for me, and the whole point of Will's invite to come here today was to show other Cali owners what we've got in our vans.
Yeah.
That's what I've got in my van, and I enjoy it. It makes my life a lot easier. The position for it, my projector and my screen is perfect. It's set up. I just switch it on and away we go every single time. There's no messing about.
You don't have to fine tune the screen and all the.
No, none of that.
Yeah.
It just makes my life a lot easier. I take it in the house because obviously I don't want to live in a cold van overnight and stuff. And then we've got a box that we just keep in the hallway with all the electronic stuff that we've got in the van, and then
back in again, all ready to go.
And it just works for us. That's the thing. It works for us. And it just makes the evenings a little bit more enjoyable. Sit with a glass of wine, watch a movie, and just enjoy campervan life, really.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's exactly what we want to try and share on the channel. So exactly that campervan life. Really interested, as I said earlier on, to see what else there is out there. What other great things have you found? What have you invented? What are the things that you've created for your vans which make that experience just that little bit more exciting, that little bit more pleasurable? Get in touch, let us know. We'd love to feature your van on the channel over the next couple of months or so. As we get into that summer season, let's have a look and, rummage through each other's drawers. Yeah,
you've done that today. Really well. Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you, Carl. Really appreciate you coming to see us.
I've had a great time.
Hopefully that's helpful for everyone, just to kind of get some inspiration and, again, see this fantastic California ocean. So do get in touch if you want to feature your van, and hopefully we'll see you again soon on Campervan Time.